From the octagon fire to the studio mics, tune in weekly, we're dropping the spikes, analyzing every punch, every kick that lands, maniacs in the game, playing with fans' demands. Ken's got the insight, Joe's got the flair, mapping out the fights will take you anywhere. So grab your popcorn, buckle up tight.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, guys? Back again, MMAniacs Podcast. I'm Joe, joined as always by the bearded Packer fan, Ken.
Yeah, I'm fucking getting there.
AKA Bare Knuckle Ken. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not too much. How you doing today, man?
Getting ready for that NFL draft. I know this is an MMA show, but I mean, shit, football's a sport too, and you know, like getting ready for this draft. That's what we got on the horizon. I just got back from training, just doing the thing, man. You know, got roughly probably another 8 months or 7 months till promotion, unless I get promoted. But I'm down 23 pounds on this new diet and workout program, because I just decided that when I get my blue belt, I want to be having putting a blue belt on a brand new man, you know, like I'm gonna be 210, 220, jacked by the time I get my blue belt, you know, and that should send my jiu-jitsu through the roof, dude, because you know, jiu-jitsu is all about core strength and hip mobility.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, losing all this extra weight is going to definitely help in those two areas, you know, because I find myself with the problem that I know the techniques, but physically, like, I'm just not able to pull off because, you know what I mean?
I definitely get you there, because triangles were always a fucking bitch for me with the way my fucking body is.
Yeah, me too. I have short legs. And
see, I got long ass legs, but I got fat ass thighs.
Yeah, see, I got short legs and I'm also fat. So it's like, you know, those two things don't go together when you're trying to do triangles. Although since I've dropped this 23 pounds, my triangles are getting better. Like I'm getting to where I can actually lock a triangle. And, you know, but I'm in this weird place where my body is not, it's like I've been doing a lot of sparring lately and I'm just getting my ass kicked, which, I mean, that's nothing new, right? But just the way I'm getting my ass kicked, like I used to put up more of a fight. And I think it's just my body is just adjusting to like my new frame. And I haven't, you know, it's like, because when you lose 25 pounds, it's like your balance point changes and things like that. And, you know, like, so I think my body is just adjusting to this new size, and I don't know if it's going to get a chance because I'm going to keep dropping and dropping. So it may take some time after I reach my you know, goal weight for me to my body to adjust and be like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. Like we're athletic now. Okay. You know what I mean? But the good news is that my body is responding really well to the diet and the exercise. I mean, I'm running a 6-day split. On jiu-jitsu days, I come home from jiu-jitsu and then I go lift for like an hour and a half. And then on my non-jiu-jitsu days, I hop on the exercise bike for like an hour and 20 minutes, go burn 600-700 calories, and then, you know, eating clean. And like, I'm lifting hard, dude. I'm doing like 30 sets of chest, another like 12 to 16 sets of different shoulder exercises, another 10 to 12 sets of back exercises. And, you know, I'm getting, or maybe 12 to 16 back exercises. Plus I got like bicep supersets, and, I'm not even sore the next day. And it's not that I'm not working out. Like I'm hitting high volume, you know, but it's just my body is getting efficient now.
Yep.
So I'm happy with that. But anyway, let's get into some MMA, huh? So we got before we start talking about that upcoming card, did you see Yuri that just came out?
Did I see what? You froze for half a second.
Yuri just came out with like a video where he was like talking about the Goldberg, and he's still saying the same thing. He's like, I made a mistake, I lost focus, and this and that, and if I was Yuri, I would let it go at this point. Like, you said what you had to say. People are going to have their opinions either way. The more that you keep talking about how you showed mercy and this and that, it's just not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like it's sounding excuses. And, Yuri has never really been the kind of guy, like, at least up till now, to make excuses, right?
I think this one kind of hurt his pride because you had that fight in the bag, and not only did you get your ass knocked out in it, you got your ass knocked out by a one-legged man.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think even more, I mean, anybody, if you're a professional fighter, losses are part of the game, man.
Yep.
Right? I think what really hurts him is the fact that, like, this kind of makes him a meme. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, it's like, bro, you're now the poster child for having a fight in the bag and finding a way to lose it, which is terrible. I feel terrible for Yuri for that, dude. Like, let that happen to a guy who deserves it, man. Yuri, he's a fan favorite. I love Yuri's personality, his style of, the way he just gets down in life. I love that, dude. I hate this for him, but part of me hopes that this is gonna, like, sharpen Yuri to where he's gonna come in with that true samurai, like, philosophy next time, where it's like, there is no mercy. Like, you lose your leg, I take your head. And I'll show mercy after the fight. I'll shake your hand and everything, but I really hope this brings the killer out of Yuri for the net, because where do they go? We were talking about this at the end of the last show. Where do they go at 205? I mean, all the top guys are coming off of a loss, except for Costa, right? And Costa has one fight in the division. Like, I don't really think he deserves an interim shot, right? So it's like, who do you book in the interim title fight? I mean, I guess you could make a case for Ankalaev for sure. His only, his loss was to Alex.
Yeah, we're gonna say, I think that's got to be the guy that you're putting up for it, though. I really don't believe the UFC wants to give him that whatsoever because of him wrestle fucking.
Well, yeah, but he also, I mean, Ankalaev can strike, dude. He's knocked out a few guys. He's not a humper, dude. Like, he is definitely a wrestler. Like, he has that in his tool bag. But go back and watch some of Ankalaev's fights, dude. He's not afraid to throw down. Because I had that same impression of Ankalaev because I had seen so few of his fights. Went back and watched some of his fights, and Ankalaev has real knockout power. He has good technical boxing. Like, he's a very well-rounded fighter, dude. Like, so I coming off a loss, yeah, you hate to see somebody coming off a loss get a crack at the interim, but at the same time, his only loss, Alex, and he beat Alex the first time, so I could see that being fair. For the rest of the division, I mean, would it be fair to put Yuri in there with Ankalaev for the interim?
I mean, yeah, because that way it gives it to where once Earlberg is fucking back, that it sets up the rematch for it, and it gives it a little bit extra juice with it being the interim versus the vacated champion.
Well, Oberg has not vacated as of this point, which is interesting. So I think he's going to try to hang on to the belt.
Man, so we're going to have another belt that's not going to get defended for a year.
Well, that's why I'm proposing. That's why I'm talking about this interim, because I think that's the most likely situation. Is that they're gonna, if Oberg is determined to hold on to the belt, then they're gonna have to have an interim champion in the meantime, right? I think it makes sense to put Yuri in there, but I don't know. I could see why people would say no.
Who do you put in over him then?
That's what I'm saying. 205 is not the division that it used to be, man. Like, so you're stuck with sort of a lack of options at the top because a lot of those guys are coming off a loss. And then, I think the most sense because of how that Olberg fight went. It was such a freaky, fluky kind of fight.
Yep.
I think he makes sense. But, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I just automatically Yuri's going to walk over Ankalaev and get the rematch with Olberg. Like, Ankalaev is probably going to be the heavy favorite in that fight. Like, although I think it's a great fight. I personally would love to see Yuri and Ankalaev fight, dude. That,
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be against it, especially with Yuri now having to repair a bit of reputation.
Yeah. What is it that you doubt, Anthony? Personally, I think that's the only thing that kind of makes sense at 205 right now. But I mean, the UFC throws curveballs all the time. But Ankalaev and Yuri would be a really good fight, a really interesting fight. Can Yuri create the chaos that he needs to get Ankalaev out of there, or is Ankalaev just going to basically take him to wrestling school, or knock him out on the feet? Like, because Ankalaev, he's going to try to keep it very controlled and technical, that's not Yuri's bag, baby. Like, Yuri has to create that chaos, and in that chaos, anything can happen. So,
and do you think that's another reason why Yuri lost? Because it goes kind of to his point of him being nice to him after he got his ACL torn there, that you weren't getting that chaos from Yuri, that he was kind of, I don't think babying him, but kind of took it easy-ish to a degree compared to what we've seen Yuri do out there style-wise. So that could have thrown him out of the loop a bit too. Like, you get what I'm trying to say here?
I do, and I think it's a very interesting point. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like, I think it was uncharted territory for Yuri, right? Because usually he's in there to create chaos, and that's his game, right? Like, he needs that. And in this situation, it's like he's going up against a wounded duck right away in the first round. And like, I thought Yuri was very smart in the beginning, because what did he do? He started kicking Olberg's other leg, not kicking his injured leg, but kicking the other leg, right? And then all of a sudden he decided, okay, that's enough. I'm going to go in and finish him, and he gets caught. Like, it was a tactical blunder for sure. If it was me, I would have kept kicking that leg.
And not even just about going in to finish him, because I'm not even against that. But he was kind of almost lackadaisical with the way he went in with it.
But I agree. He went in with his hands down, and that's what I'm trying to say is this was uncharted territory for Yuri. I think he really just didn't know what to do, because here it's like he's got a guy that's hurt, as in injured, but not hurt, right? Like, it's not like he stunned him and now he's going for the finish, right? Like, it's like you got a guy who's on one leg, but he's obviously still dangerous, and you go in there with your hands down. If I was Yuri, I would have stayed on the outside and just kicked that other leg, and then I would have just backed up. I would have been sticking and moving with leg kicks and make him, you know why? Because I'm going to make him walk to me, right? And that knee, how many steps you think he's going to take before that knee gives out, right? And the fight gets stopped. Yuri had that. That's how he really had the fight in the bag, is if he would have played that strategy. Is it kind of cheesy? Yeah, but so what, dude? Like, you're fighting for the belt. Like, you do what you have to do to win. Olberg, I completely agree with Olberg in that situation. You do whatever you have to do, like, because you can sit there with your honor and no belt, and or you can do whatever you have to do, win the belt, and then worry about honor later, But yeah, so we'll see what happens with the 205. But in 18 days we have the 185 belt being defended, And let's get into this card. Like, let's start at the bottom of the card, like the bottom of the main card, and let's go through those fights first.
All
See
right.
what do we got that's interesting.
You got King Green versus Jeremy Stevens.
Okay, so it's a good fight. It's a good fight for a couple of reasons. One, neither of these guys are sniffing a title, so it's not a high stakes like contender fight, right? This is just going to be a fun banger of a fight. You know, Jeremy Stevens, they call him Little Heathen Stevens. That dude has crazy power.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Jeremy Stevens, he's knocked motherfuckers stupid, dude.
You want to know what's great? Is we call him the Timu Joe Rogan.
Yeah, they do actually. And I've sort of adopted it. I'm cool with it because Joe Rogan likes jujitsu. Joe Rogan's a black belt. I'm not a black belt. I'm a white belt. But I'm almost a blue. A few more months, I'll be a blue belt in Carlson Gracie. And Joe Rogan started off in Carlson Gracie as well. So yeah, it's an interesting fight because it's going to be a banger, and there's no titles, there's no title implications. It's just an entertaining fight. Both these guys are old. King Green is old. Jeremy Stevens, I mean, shoot, dude, he's been fighting in the UFC since the early 2000s. So
yeah, I was gonna say I thought I recognized his name, but
yeah, he's definitely been. Yeah, but look at what Cub Swanson just did on the last card.
yeah,
Cub's not a spring chicken either. And Cub, I thought that was the best Cub has looked in years. Like he looked untouchable, man. Like he was. No, really, like he did.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm not taking anything fucking away from him in that fight.
Which is it's an interesting thing too, because if you're Cub, it's like, do you really want to retire on that? Like, it's like you haven't looked that good in years, bro.
That may be, but I think that was the perfect freaking ending for him.
Yeah, I agree. But part of me thinks like, as a fighter, you would think like, damn, dude, do I really want to go out on a performance like that? I mean, it's better than going out on a bad knockout, right? But it's like, that showed me like he still got it, dude. Like, that was the best he's looked in a long time. So yeah, I don't know. Paddy Pimblett, UFC 1 week, KFC the next. I think it's actually Paddy Pimblett, UFC 1 hour, KFC right after the fight. Like, that's his whole thing. I love Paddy though. Like Paddy, I'm a fan. He showed a lot of heart in that Gaethje fight. And with the eye pokes, that was bullshit. But anyway, no excuses. So what's the next fight?
We got Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley.
Oh, that's going to be a good fight too. Brady is coming off that loss. He lost to God, what's his name? Not Hernandez? Can you pull up the welterweight top 5? He lost to a guy who's like number 3 now. He has a Mexican last name. It's like
it's
Moreno
Morales.
or Morales. Yeah, I was thinking Hernandez, but it's Michael Morales. He's coming off that loss to Morales, right? He hasn't fought since then.
Yep.
So this is an interesting fight for contender status, right? Like Buckley is a very versatile striker. He's the dude that did that. Remember, he threw that body kick and the dude caught it and then he jumped and spin kicked him in the face. Dude, like literally retarded. Like, yeah, that's Buckley, dude. It's an interesting fight because it's sort of striker versus grappler. Like Brady can strike, but he's more of a wrestler. Buckley is definitely a striker. It's got title implications eventually, so it's an interesting fight. What do you think about that? Who would you take in that fight?
Who am I taking? I'm going with Buckley because of him being more of the stand-up fighter and Sean Brady being more of the wrestler. Now, granted, I do appreciate the wrestling, but if I got to pick between the two, I'm always picking the striker over it. And it's not like I'm a huge fan of either guy here. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of their fights here, so screw it. Give me the striker.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm going Brady just because I think he'll be able to take Buckley down. But yeah, it's an interesting fight for the title
Hey there.
implications. It's an interesting fight for like the contender implications, but it's not my favorite fight on the card. You know, nah, I'm good, man. Like I Armin is a weird case, bro. Because like, yes, he's very talented. He's probably the best technical overall fighter in 55. Um, but I just don't like him. He's boring to me, and like I don't want to see, unless you're gonna put if you're gonna put him in there with Ilya or it, like I'll be rooting for Ilya in that fight. And Ken knows, like I'm not I respect the hell out of Ilya, but I can't consider myself an Ilya fan because I didn't hop on that bandwagon early enough, and I'm not a bandwagon kind of guy. um you know it's I like I definitely respect Ilya, though. I think he's the most dangerous dude maybe in MMA right now. But so you got we just talked about Brady and Buckley. Who's the next fight?
Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Man, it's a good fight for the heavyweight division, like for rankings, but because Waldo Cortez Acosta is trying to, like, he might already be in the top five. This might be a title eliminator. Like, whoever wins this fight will probably be the next in line after Alex and Gon handle their business.
Yeah, because Waldo's 4 and Alexander's 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so Alex and Gon are going to get it on it at the White House, and then the winner will be the interim champion, and then they'll figure out if Aspinall is coming back or not, and he'll defend against either one of those guys, and then the very next title shot will probably be Volkov or Waldo Cortez Acosta. So it's a big fight as far as title implications go. I don't see it being the most entertaining fight on the card, but it could be a banger. Who knows? Volkov can strike, and he's a tough dude. He also has a pretty decent ground game. He's more well-rounded, I think, than Acosta. But you know, Acosta is, I think he's definitely, I'm pretty sure he's much younger than Volkov. He's kind of on that ascent right now. Yeah, Max is a badass. I haven't heard anything about his next fight. I mean, Charles took his lunch money, dude. So Max he's got some rebuilding to do. And that's no disrespect to Max. I mean, Charles is an absolute fucking savage, dude. There's no shame in losing to Charles Oliveira, but Max has to rebuild his stock a bit. So I could definitely see him fighting down the rankings. I'll give you one fight that I think would be fantastic, dude. With Max coming off a loss, the other guy coming off a loss. Give me Paddy Pimblett versus Max Holloway.
I'm all fucking for that fight. That sounds like it'd be one hell of a fight because Max is one hell of a technical striker, arguably the best pure boxer in UFC. I almost said the NFL. And then you got Paddy Pimblett, who that son of a bitch. You got to give it to him. He's tougher than fucking nails.
Yeah, and he's one of the highest level jiu-jitsu guys in the fucking UFC. Like, his jiu-jitsu is top notch, dude. I don't know who his trainer is, but he comes from a lineage, bro. You could tell, like he's very, very dangerous, and that's to me what makes that fight interesting. Yeah, yeah, it was incredible, right? And Max will always have that going for him. Like the fans love him for that. But he's got to rebuild his stock because he looked terrible against Charles. Like let's
Yeah,
just be honest.
yeah, because I think it was because Max totally wasn't prepared for that type of fight. That he thought, like a lot of the rest of us were assuming, that with it being the BMF bout, that it was going to be mostly standing. And to me, with how bad his performance was against Charles, I don't even think he trained much for the ground.
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean,
you get what I mean because
I get
fucking
what you mean.
Oliveira did to him what he wanted at will, and yes, Oliveira is outstanding on the ground. But we've seen Max on the ground before. It's not like he's a complete fish out of water.
No, and that's actually the point that I was going to make is that I actually think, I mean, Max got his black belt handed to him after that fight. Like Max got his jiu-jitsu black belt handed to him in the cage, dude. Um, yeah, I don't know if he half-assed it. I actually think I agree with Ken in this one. I think he expected, because it's the BMF, that they were going to do more standing and banging. And Charles was like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and just dominate you on the ground. But Max didn't get finished. And Charles is the king of finishing on the ground. Dude. So that's why I say, he made Max look bad. But for Max to survive having Charles literally on his back for like probably 18 minutes out of that fight, dude, do you understand how hard that is to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like to defend your back and not get choked for 18 minutes, dude. A casual fan who's never trained jiu-jitsu doesn't understand that. They're like, oh, how hard is it? He's just got he's got his hooks in, but I mean, you could just cover your neck, right? No, dude, it's so much more than just covering your neck, dude. It's so much more. I thought Max did a phenomenal job of not getting finished in that fight, despite the fact that Charles should have finished him with all the back time that he had and everything. So it made me have a whole new respect for Max's defense, his choke defense especially. But he's got to rebuild his stock, bro. And I think that Patty is a good opportunity for that, because if Patty can't get him down, Max is going to bust Patty up. The thing is, though, Max doesn't have the knockout power to put Patty out of there, right? So that's what makes it interesting to me. That's why I say that's an interesting fight. Because yeah, he could dot Patty's shit up 5 rounds for sure, but I don't see him putting him away.
Yeah,
and so and as long as Patty's in the fight and he's not getting rocked like how Gaethje was rocking him, he's got a shot.
I wouldn't be surprised if that stays standing, that Max gets Patty looking close to as Frankenstein as he did with Gaethje. Granted, he doesn't have that power, but his accuracy is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's why I said I definitely think he's going to bust Patty up. Like Patty's face is going to look like it did versus Gaethje, right? But the difference is I could see Patty getting into a scramble and taking him down and being able to control him like Charles did. And will he finish him? That's the hard part. If Charles couldn't finish him, it would be interesting. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that would be a fantastic fight, because a lot of the fights that the UFC makes, you can kind of like already know who's going to win before they go in there. Now, there's always surprises, right? But that's an interesting fight where you really can't 100% say like, no, this guy's got it. Like, to me, that it's pretty close to a toss-up fight. Definitely has a huge advantage in the striking. Patty definitely has a huge advantage on the ground. And Patty's striking is not terrible. I mean, he's not Max Holloway for sure, but he's good at using his length, his kicks. and he's not afraid to mix it up. So, he's got that going for him, but I definitely wouldn't try to box Max for 5 rounds. I can tell you that. If I'm Patty, it's like I'm boxing just long enough to get range, and then I'm taking him down, dude. Or yeah, and that's the thing is Max isn't going to try to take him down. So the Patty he's really thrived when other guys take him down, and he's able to get into those scrambles. I don't think that happens with Max. Yeah, I love Brandon Moreno, dude. He's been in some awesome fights. He's on a bit of a losing streak right now. I think there's been a couple of questionable decisions, but I don't know, man. Brandon is an old fighter for flyweight, dude. Like he's like 30, probably 33, 34, but he's a 34, bro. He's got a lot of fights, he's probably got he's probably got 40 something fights in his career. That's a lot of mileage, dude. I love Moreno, but I also think when Moreno left his original camp, it didn't do him any favors, dude. Like I think the camp that he's with now, he needs to go ahead and leave those guys and go back to where he came from, or find a new gym. I think the only way that Moreno ever gets back into like title contention is to find a new gym and find something new in himself, or find that old him. His hand speed is phenomenal. His technical boxing is great. I mean, he's also really good on the ground. You saw what he did to Figueiredo. To be able to finish Figueiredo on the ground like that was phenomenal. But he just hasn't looked like himself for the last 4 or 5 fights. And so I really want to see Moreno get that spark back. I think he needs a new team, a new trainer. That's my opinion. But let's go on to what's the next fight on the card.
You got Joshua Van versus Teresa. Yep.
Okay, so this is an interesting fight. Tyra can strike. He's also pretty good on the ground. But Tyra just got his ass whooped by Pantoja like not even a year ago. He fought for the title like a year ago against Pantoja, and Pantoja just dominated him, dude. Like completely dominated him. And then Pantoja got hurt, as we know. So for Joshua Van, it's an interesting fight. I lean heavily towards Joshua Van because of his striking. You don't like Joshua Van, Jax?
Yeah, I'm a fan of him.
I like Joshua Van. I like his style. He's a very versatile striker. And he's a young guy. Like what I like about him is he's only in his early 20s, dude. He's got a long career ahead of him. As long as he can stay healthy and, to have a title already, not getting into how he won it. It's not his fault that, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Title fights are title fights, bro. Like, he didn't Pantoja to not break fall, like that's day one jiu-jitsu shit. Like Pantoja tried to head kick him, he caught the leg and picked the leg up, took him off balance, and when Pantoja went down, rather than going down on his side and slapping the mat like break falling, like he decided to put his elbow down and try to stop all his weight, completely demolished his elbow. Like that's not Van's fault, dude. So what should Van have done then, Jax? Should Van have said, "Oh no, I don't want the title and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that comes with defending it, or potentially millions of dollars that comes with defending it because I didn't win it the right way"? Like, come on, man. There'll be a rematch, and that'll be a fantastic fight. Like Joshua Van and Pantoja, the rematch is going to be a fantastic fight. So then what? You call it a no contest? I mean, I could see the argument, I guess, but it's not really fair to Van. Like, that's the rules. Like, no, yeah, I get it, but that's the rules, man. If you get injured in a fight and you can't continue, it's a TKO loss. That's the rules. Don't like it? Change the rules, you know? The fight didn't end on a foul. It ended in an injury. So I understand it's not really fair to Pantoja to lose his belt like that, especially with the dominant run that he was on. But it's also not fair to Van to not crown him the winner when he essentially injured Pantoja. Like he's the one who caught the kick and lifted the leg, forcing Pantoja to put his hand down to try to catch his weight, and his elbow just folded. So exactly, that's what I'm saying, Fred. Like it's Pantoja's fault 100%. Like break falling is day one wrestling, day one jiu-jitsu stuff. You learn how to fall first, you know? Like he tried to, yeah, it is what it is. And it's not like Pantoja's not going to get a rematch, Jax. You know what I mean? He's going to get his rematch when he comes back. And I think it'll be a fantastic fight, like the first one should have been. Van is he's an exceptional striker, but Pantoja definitely has the advantage on the ground, and Pantoja is no slouch in the striking either. Like Pantoja's an animal, dude. So I lean heavily towards Pantoja in that fight in the rematch, but Van's a live dog. As far as Tyra, I don't really see Tyra winning that fight. Like Tyra's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's well rounded, you know, and he's doing well, like representing Japan. Like there's not too many Japanese fighters in the UFC, right? And like especially contention. And I wouldn't mind seeing Tyra win it. I don't know actually. I don't think he's lost in the UFC. But Tyra, I wouldn't mind seeing Tyra win just because I think he was the first Japanese champion in UFC history.
Charles Johnson is who he last lost against.
And how long ago was that?
That was July 13th, 2024.
Okay. So, yeah, it's been a little while, a couple years, a year and a half. So that loss is pretty recent then.
Mm-hmm.
Did he lose by decision?
Knockout.
Really? Knockout loss. Huh. Well, that's interesting. But can you look this up? I don't think there's ever been a Japanese champion in the UFC. I could be wrong. There might have been one or two, maybe. I remember Yushin Okami fighting for the belt.
Nope.
Like I said, yeah, I don't think there's ever been a Japanese champion. So for that only, I would say it would be cool if Tyra won, just because he would, you know, like Japan has never had a champion. It'd be cool for that, but Van's striking is so versatile. I think he's gonna put it on Tyra, dude. It'll be an entertaining fight while it lasts, though. And then finally, we're coming to the main event, right?
Yep.
Good, because we got about 20 minutes left in the show.
I was going to say, and this is one that I cannot wait for, because this is my favorite. We get a good old-fashioned grudge match where you got two fighters that just genuinely do not like each other.
Yeah, but is it going to be that? Like, it's a grudge match in the sense that we know that these guys, they hate each other, right? Like, we know that. They talk mad shit about each other online and stuff like that. But do you really think that Hamzat is going to stand and bang with Strickland?
I think depending on how this fight goes, Strickland's takedown defense might not give him too much of a choice, but Hamzat is one hell of a wrestler, and we saw that the way he won his belt.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Strickland might be able to stop the initial takedown, but do you think that if Strickland stops the first 2, 3, 4 takedowns, that Hamzat's just going to give up on the takedown? No.
Oh, God, no.
Hamzat's going to spam 30 takedowns, dude. So,
but I was gonna say Strickland's got a decent gas tank on him.
oh yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes Strickland a real live dog in this fight is his gas tank. Because I don't think Hamzat has the gas tank for 5 rounds of high paced action like that. Like he dominated Duplessis, right? But it was a lot of like just laying on him and controlling him. Not a lot of damage. Yeah, post fight will be interesting. I could see them having to have security between them after the fight. Like they really don't like each other, and no matter who wins that fight, the other guy's not going to be happy.
Nope.
So it's how do you see that fight going, Ken? Do you see it going to decision, or do you think it ends with a finish?
I got a feeling if Strickland ends up winning it, that it's going to be by decision because it'll be him constantly defending against Hamazat's takedowns and him being able to just play the 1-2 game with him. Hamazat, I could see if he gets Strickland on the ground, that him being able to get some kind of submission. But I can still see him just wrestle fucking him too. I think decision is most likely, with second being Hamazat submission.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this fight is probably going to go to a decision, but I could see if Hamzat is able to get him down and keep him down, I could see him finishing him, possibly. But Strickland, the thing about Strickland is even if you can get him down, it's really hard to keep him down. He's probably and I don't say this very often, like that somebody's the best in the UFC at something. So if I say it, it's like I really think it, you know. Strickland might be the best in the UFC at getting up once he's taken down. Like he's really good at getting back to his feet. You know, even up against the cage, like using the cage to his advantage to pull himself up, putting his back on the cage and working his way back. But I just see this fight kind of, I see it as Hamzat's going to try to put him on the cage and just work till he takes him down. And then Strickland will stand up. Then Hamzat will put him back down. Then Strickland will stand up. I could see a lot of that just cage humping, dude. And I really hope that's not the case because I want to see an entertaining fight like you, especially, you know. Yeah, exactly. I want to see an entertaining fight. Like for all the shit talk that these guys have done, like at least give us 1 round of just stand and bang, dude.
Yep, exactly. That's what I want to see too, because you guys have sat there and run your mouth about each other back and forth, and I have no worry about Strickland going in there standing and banging with it. Hamazat though. It's going to be a hell of a thing to try to talk the guy into doing what is going to most likely lead to him getting defeated. Because you're going right into Strickland's wheelhouse with that when he has a clear, obvious advantage on the ground.
Yeah, I agree. But again, remember I've said this before, and we've talked about this. Strickland is the Obi-Wan of the middleweight division, dude. It's like, save us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope, you know? Like, if Strickland can't beat Hamzat, Hamzat is going on a fucking run, dude.
Yeah.
We agree on that, right? Yep. Strickland is the only one that has the tools to possibly beat Hamzat. Like, he has the takedown defense to keep Hamzat from dominating him and wrestle fucking him, right? He's the only one in the division that really has that. But if Hamzat is able to get him down, then there's absolutely nobody in that division that's going to not get wrestle fucked. You know? If Sean took the title from Izzy, Hamzat in his career, I don't understand. If Sean took the title from Izzy, and then I don't know what you're saying after that. Yeah, I mean, he did take the title from Izzy, you know? So
I think it might have been and Hamza in his career.
and Hamzat, yeah. So you're saying if he's a two-time champ and he took the belt from Izzy and from Hamzat, I mean, bro, you're
Yep.
getting into Hall of Fame yeah. You're getting into Hall of Fame territory right there, dude. Like to
Me.
beat you don't think so?
No. That is not why I'm laughing. It's can you imagine Sean Strickland in the Hall of Fame? That
Yes.
the speech that he's gonna give for that is what I'm talking about.
He's gonna walk up there and like first thing he's gonna be like, "What's up, faggots?" Something like that. Like, I hate Mexicans, fucking border jumpers, and all kind of crazy shit. You know, he'll talk about the Illuminati and the child pedo rings, and like they're gonna be like, "Sean, we got to cut you off, dude."
Yeah.
No, but like,
he's definitely the king of getting cut off.
dude, look at his resume though. Like, look at his resume. Sean has a quietly one of the best resumes in the history of the middleweight division, dude. He really does. His losses have all been, other than to Alex, he got knocked out by Alex, but Pereira was an absolute phenom, right? He beat Izzy. He lost a really, really close fight to Dricus du Plessis for the belt, right? And
twice.
yeah, but they were both really, really close fights, man. Like it really close fights, you know. And I would argue that they're probably 1-1. Like I could see you giving Strickland one fight and Duplessis one, and the judges just gave both to Duplessis, because there wasn't a lot of action. It was a stand up fight, but it's like, you know, it's a technical chess match, really. Like that's how their fights went, was technical boxing chess matches. Neither guy really getting hurt too bad. But then, you know, he's beat most of the in the top 5, probably all of them actually, if you think about it, except for Dricus. Like in the middleweight top 10, can you pull up the middleweight top 10?
Yeah.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, you got Duplessis at 1, Imavov at 2, Strickland 3, Braden Allen at 4, Caio at 5, Joe Pfeiffer at 6, Anthony Hernandez at 7, DeRitter at 8, Izzy at 9, and Robert Whitaker at 10.
You know what? That's actually, he hasn't beaten most of the top 5 now. Like the old top 5, when Izzy was still in the top 5, like yeah, but no, that's interesting. The middleweight division has shifted, man. Like and Caio's at 5, dude, which means Caio's 1 win away from potentially getting a shot. So I don't know, man. I don't like his chances against Hamzat.
How do you like his chances against Strickland?
About as much as I like his chances against Hamzat, but I think maybe a little better because Strickland's not gonna wrestle fuck him. Like Strickland's gonna box, and you know Caio can box, but Strickland is such a good technical boxer. Like I don't know, man. But just, you know, I like Caio. Like I've said before, I'm a fan of the Fighting Nerds as a team, and they're all kind of working their way up. Hoofy, Pratis, Caio, right? Silva is coming off a loss, but you know, he's still in the top 10. Like they're all working their way up. We're about to separate the men from the boys in the Fighting Nerds. We're about to find out who's championship material and who's not. So yeah, we'll see. But and Caio after his last fight called out Dricus too.
That's a hell of a call out.
Yeah, I don't think Dricus is going to accept. I think Dricus wants to wait and see what happens with Strickland and Hamzat, and then take his chances. Because if Strickland beats Hamzat, I definitely think Dricus is like, okay, I'll take that title shot now.
Of course.
He's already 2-0. He's like, I'll take that title shot now. But if Hamzat wins, does he take the title shot?
I don't know. With how bad he got freaking folded around, spun upside down, they turned him into, Hamzat turned him into a fucking pizza.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And that it was so convincing. Not that it was like Hamzat beat the shit out of him or anything, but it's
He
just
dominated.
the dominance was so convincing that I really don't think Dricus is going to do any better the second time around. Like some guys just have your number,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it seems like with that. It's like he really didn't have any answer at all. So I don't know, man. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting card. You know, Islam does not have a fight booked right now, does he?
I don't think so. Let me see.
That's going to be interesting too. Like, who's Islam's first defense at welterweight? That's going to be an interesting question.
No. He doesn't have a fight lined up.
Right.
And Ilya is trying hard to get that super fight going because he's talking a whole bunch of shit here the past couple of days about how he's going to shock the world with it, Islam there. And not only is he going to beat him, but he's going to submit him too.
You're going to submit him?
That's what Ilya just said.
Yeah, Ilya says a lot of shit.
I was gonna say. I mean, that sounds real good, but if I'm Ilya, I'm just punching him in the face.
Yeah, like,
Well, you got two fucking 12 gauges attached to your arms. Why the hell are you gonna screw around with anything else?
I don't want to give Islam any chance on the ground. I'm staying away from the ground with Islam.
Like, granted, Ilya is a black belt in jiu-jitsu himself, but come on.
Yeah, I'm still not going. Why are you going to go play in his wheelhouse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, use you know, if you have good takedown defense, use it and force Islam to box you. You know, because Islam will stand up with you if he's forced to, and we've said this before. Islam kind of leaves his chin out there, man. You know, it's there to be hit.
I was gonna say he leaves his chin out there against Ilya, and that's gonna be the end of the super fight.
Man, if Ilya, I really do honestly. After he knocks out Gaethje, I do think he's going up to 70. He's going to call out Islam, and he's going to give up the belt and go up to 70. And
That's certainly what it seems like he's posturing for here.
and you kind of have to give him the title shot, don't you? Like if he's now vacated 2 belts in a row to chase Islam, like you kind of have to give him the shot. Like, you get what I'm saying? At 70, like if he beats Gaethje, who's the interim champ, and then he goes, you know what? I'm gonna leave 55. I'm giving up the belt because I want Islam. It's like, yeah, there are other contenders at welterweight that are in the way, but you can kind of have them step aside. Like, this is a fight that needs to be made. It's the biggest fight in MMA that can be made, in my opinion, right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than Jones Aspinall. It's bigger than Alex Pereira Aspinall. In my opinion, Ilya Islam is the fight to make. And we've been saying it for a little. It doesn't seem like Islam wants any part of that.
Nope. I think he's running full chicken.
Damn. That's crazy to say about Islam too.
Because what are the props that we always give him on this show? That he's got the courage to go out there and stand up and actually trade with people and not just rely on his dominant wrestling and all that. So you look at him, is a tough son bitch. Oh, I'm not gonna turn down no fight. At least that's how I looked at him till he started running away from Ilya.
Yeah, It's not a good look for Islam, dude.
Because to me, all that does is remind me of fucking Mayweather.
Yeah, and here's the worst part for Islam is, let's say, because Islam doesn't have a fight booked yet. Let's say, for the sake of argument, Ilya does do what we expect him to do. He knocks out Gaethje at the White House, and then he immediately calls out Islam. And now Islam is like, I don't want that fight. I want to fight one of the contenders. Because Islam is definitely going to he's going to angle for that whole, well, he doesn't have a fight at 70. He's never fought at 170 and he's getting the title shot. Islam is going to try to make him climb the ladder and hope that somebody can take him out before he gets to Islam, right? It's smart business. Like, let's just be honest. That's a smart business play. But what if the UFC backs Islam into a corner and says, look, dude, either you're going to defend against Ilya, like this is the second division now that he's chased you to. You're either going to defend against Ilya or we're going to strip you.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he goes full John Jones and just says, screw it, and retires?
Yeah. If they threaten to strip him, I think there's a good chance he just says, fuck it, and retires. He's a 2-division champ.
What do you think? What do you think puts a bigger black mark on his legacy? If he loses to Ilya or if he retires without fighting him?
If he retires without fighting him, hands down. Like, you can lose to a guy who's just better than you, and history will be forgiving to Islam's record. Islam's body of work speaks for itself. In my opinion, he's already surpassed Khabib. Like, so yeah, and he has one loss on his record, Islam does. So yeah, Khabib was undefeated, but Khabib's level of competition was nowhere near the level of competition that Islam has fought. Islam fought Volkanovski twice. He's fought Charles. He's fought top level guys. Armin. So yeah, I could see Islam just hanging it up.
Man, that'd be a travesty.
But I could also see Islam, like, I don't know, man. If he takes the fight, props on him. I think it definitely restores, or he keeps his luster even if he loses the fight. If he takes the fight, if he takes the fight, it's like, okay, the best man won. I'm still a 2-division champ. I only lost really, to him. Like, I had that one loss in the beginning of my career.
And then not only that, if he beats Ilya, that's going to put a nice little capper at the end of your career there.
If he beats Ilya, I'm retiring in the ring, dude.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. As you see, that's why I phrased it as the nice little capper at your career.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it doesn't get any higher than that. Like, if you beat Ilya, you go ahead and call it a night right then. Like, call it a career. Why stick around and fight hungry, young, welterweight contenders when, I mean, you could, and you could continue to defend your belt, but like, you're already a champion.
Yeah, I was gonna say you slayed all the monsters.
You killed the boogeyman, bro. Like, if you kill the boogeyman, how can you go back to fighting mortals? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
It's like, you slay the boogeyman, it's time to just hang it up, bro. Like,
And if Ilya wins, do you think he stays or drops back down?
I would, if I was him, I would drop back down. I think he's too small for 70. I would drop back down, take the 55 belt again, and go on a nice little run with Islam's scalp under my belt, But unfortunately, we're out of time, guys. Thank you guys for commenting, for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We'll get into some more of this Islam versus Ilya talk, and we'll also talk about the upcoming Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight. We'll talk about Kayla Harris and Amanda Nunes probably some more, because that's on the horizon once Kayla's healed up. But in the meantime, thank you guys for joining us. Ken, you got anything?
Nope. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town.